Hello everybody, welcome back to Disney Mirrorverse. Today we are of course showcasing Kuzco, the second character of the newest update. Kuzco, Disciple of the Groove. That is certainly something. That sounds like cult talk. So yeah, that's the overview. Not a whole lot to say there, but let's go through his abilities. Pretty much just focus, charge, and groove aura, but he's immune to root, which is certainly interesting. I guess because he's so groovy, he can't be rooted down. We got a groove field, which is a proximity field unique to Kuzco's special action. Okay, thanks for the really great description there. But I guess here it says, in the field, Kuzco and any allies heal 2% per second. Kind of reminds me of the thing that Frank Wolf has. And then they're inflicted with a bind debuff. Bind prevents a target from using their basic attacks. That's pretty crazy. Holy. Can they do their heavy attacks? I'm not I mean, I feel like the heavy is just a version of the basic. I don't know. Let's go through the talents. I'm not a focus guy. I always say it. Not a focus guy. Then we got I like both of these quite a bit. Maybe it would be cool having a burn thing here, and then more for the bind. I think the bind is certainly a pretty powerful idea. Then we'll of course do the no touchy, and then the bio here. And he is dancing the whole time. He don't stop. I'm guessing that's probably going to continue in the battle as well. Same as we did for Peter Pan. We're going to start off with the 1v1s here. We're pretty close to actually finishing the hard mode as well. So this one wants range, but that's fine. Kuzco got pretty high up there as well. So I am more excited to see Kuzco than I was for Peter Pan. So let's see how he... Wow. What a fun idea. Have a moonwalk out. Bang. Dang. You don't stop. Wait. Okay, yeah. So his moves are ranged, of course. I can't tell what he's even throwing at him. Are they just like something musical? I really can't tell what that is. Maybe you can pause the video and see. Let's do this. Dang, Kuzco, freaking head spin. And I'm guessing that's the bind, right? That purple thing that was on him. Yeah, bind is crazy. You can also see the field that we have. We don't have any allies, so really don't do anything. Does it not heal us, though? Okay, yeah, it does. So yeah, you can kind of see, like, he looked like he was trying to attack, but he just can't. I do wonder if I mean, you can obviously still use your special and everything. But yeah, bind is, it's pretty useful, man. Maybe it actually does. It also rooted him for a second. But maybe it also does cancel out your special. I don't know. And he's still going, man. It's a funny idea to have a character who literally doesn't stop dancing. Like, I always imagine Mirrorverse characters just taking one aspect of the character and bringing it to the extreme. And that's literally what they did for Kuzco. They took the groove aspect of him and just turned it all the way up. He don't stop grooving. But yeah, I'm sure it was fun to make all these dance moves for him. As for his outfit, it's a little strange to me. I'm not entirely sure what they're even going for, if I'm being completely honest. It's certainly colorful, certainly fun to look at, but yeah, like the hat thing, I really don't get. I don't know what that is like at all. And I think it would have been fun if he had like sneakers on or something. Like I kind of said, maybe they're going for a hip-hop look for him, which I think also would have been pretty funny, especially considering they really turned up the groove aspect. I thought maybe he had like sneakers on in that silhouetted photo, but he's actually just wearing like sandals and you can see like his whole feet. But I think just having the sneakers themselves would have been enough to be like, to give him that sort of hip-hop look. But yeah, they went for more of like a traditional like folk look for him, which is interesting. I also don't know if he like plays music or anything. I don't have the audio. I'm not listening to it right now, so I have no clue what it sounds like or anything. I think yeah, so she just did her special, so you can definitely still do it. But for this range character who's basically like targeting me with each of her hits, it's pretty useful to just not allow her to do it anymore. Because yeah, this was probably a closer fight than it should have been. But I guess if I was better at dodging, maybe it would have been better. But it's basically a battle of the supports here, and it was pretty close, honestly. But I think I'm probably gonna win out. Although yeah, it is getting a little too close for comfort. Do they have to be in range? I guess I wasn't even thinking about that. But she probably has to be within my circle to actually get affected by that. And I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I died. You gotta be joking. She was literally like a hit or two away. I think that was more my fault than anything. Let's go to the tower. And once we are in the tower, I'm going to go through his notes on what is it on? I can't concentrate on two things. It's on what? It's on his design notes, of course. That's what I was definitely thinking the whole time. Okay, so tell us about this Guardian's transformation. Solar magic has amplified Kuzco's connection to the groove, giving him the ability to channel the groove's power through his tireless dancing and limitless energy. So a very simple concept here. Like I said, they just took the groove aspect and that's him now. While we were designing goals, introduce a character to the game with the Bind debuff, who also works as a great support to increase overall swing of critical chances by removing focus from enemy team rather than increase on Guardian team, to make him an orthogonal parallel to Scrooge. I genuinely have no clue what orthogonal means. I guess I can look it up on Google real quick. Well, of or involving right angles. Okay. That was a bit extreme, just to say that he's the opposite of Scrooge. And I'm also really not that familiar with Scrooge's moveset either, so all you need to know is that if you know what Scrooge is like, he is the opposite. What abilities does this Guardian have? Kuzco's core ability grants his allies a focus buff, so as long as they remain within his aura, and grants him immunity to root. Wait, what? As long as they remain within his aura and grants him immunity to root. Oh, I see. Let me read it again just to make it actually make sense. Kuzco's core ability grants his allies a focus buff, so long as they remain within his aura, and grants him immunity to root. His SP allows him to bind his enemies and heal his allies within his aura as well. Within the signature ability, it grants him the ability to cleanse debuffs from his allies. His talent loadout allows him to access to some focus buffs, debuffs, and his elite grants access to burn, which we did actually equip. Describe the Guardian's playstyle. I will once we get into the next fight. I'm sure you guys are on the edge of your seat trying to hear what his playstyle is like. Obviously Kuzco lives on keeping close to his... What? Kuzco lives on keeping close to his allies and enemies, so maintaining proximity is essential. Traditionally, support steers clear of danger, so Kuzco relies on his immune to root and his ability to shut down enemy attacks with the blind debuff. I will say, being immune to root is pretty good. I'm already predicting who's going to be a good character for him to counter. Let's see. Hit and run, heavy attacks, and careful timing of the SP are important when piloting Kuzco and make him crucial for a close combat team. What allies pair best with this Guardian? Obviously, anyone who delivers focus buffs like Scrooge will supplement Kuzco and his team by exponentially increasing their ability to deliver critical hits. I find that a very fascinating sentence, since they basically said he is the exact opposite of Scrooge. I like the idea that you have two characters who are doing completely different things. Put them on a team, right? But they also are both support, so I don't know. I would never do a team with multiple support characters. Let's see. Merida and Hades love if he hangs with them on the back line, supplementing their crits and making Hades' burns even more deadly. So he's a good addition to a ranged character. Judy loves to hang as her root, plus his bind allows for total enemy team shutdown. What enemies does his guardian counter? Kuzco loves getting in close with Kuzco loves getting in close with tanks and melee enemies when he's ready to hit his SP. Being able to shut down enemy attacks, if only for 5 seconds, grants an extreme benefit to the guardian team. I feel like that did not say anything. Like, they usually give at least one example of a character. In close with tanks and melee enemies. So basically, what they're saying is, since this special just shuts down everybody, that it's probably best to shut down these characters that are doing a ton of damage to you. So some hard hitters, like maybe if you think Peter Pan is a heavy hitter, you want to bring him in to counter Peter Pan, you know. But it is weird that they didn't actually give a single example of a character that they were referring to. I thought maybe they would say Judy, since he's immune to it being rooted, and she's the main one I think of when I think of characters that have the root ability, but who knows, I guess that wasn't a priority. Who is best to defeat this fractured guardian? When facing fractured Kuzco, a player needs to consider keeping their distance and laying damage over time on Kuzco whenever possible. Relying on critical hits or superior maneuverability will not help, as Kuzco is built to shut that down. Melee or ranged characters able to inflict wound, burn, or shock will be integral. Even them shutting down Kuzco's teammates is maybe even more important, as Kuzco himself is just supporting a team built around his capabilities. So I think that kind of blends to one of the reasons why I lost that fight against Evil Queen, not only because I just sucked at dodging her attacks, but because Kuzco is really not meant to be a solo team. He's meant to be there to support other characters, and while he can still deal damage and do a lot of good stuff against enemies, one of his big things is actually being a supportive character to his allies. So we need to bring in another character, so let's just do Merida. I think it said Merida was one of his characters to team up with, so that's perfect. But yeah, that's certainly a lot to take in. I am not a smart person, so I feel like I'm not ever going to be able to fully take advantage of what Kuzco has to offer. Let's also take it off of auto. I think it's also basically saying that you probably shouldn't be in control of Kuzco. Although being in control allows you to make sure you're around the characters you want to be around, so either if you want to make sure some character loses their attack, or if you want to make sure that you're near one of your allies so that they can get their focus and everything. And he does heal as well, which I feel like I haven't really mentioned all that much, but it's always helpful to have that. I definitely prefer a support character who can do a lot of things as well as heal, because if you have a support that can't even heal, then you're already at a disadvantage with a team with a really strong healer, in my opinion. And of course that's not always true, but I prefer to have a healer. And yeah, I mean, as always, animations are great. I like the concept for his character too, although I feel like it's not as in-depth as it usually is, and again, I'm still at a loss for the costume that he has. I feel like it would have been interesting to have them explain that as well, because there must be some sort of inspiration behind it, and I'm curious to what that might be. Other than just like trying to think of what a folk sort of look is like, I don't know, but we can do one more. We haven't even gone on that long. But overall, another really cool addition to the cast, at the very least. They really seem to enjoy adding a bunch of different characters that do completely different things. And it was especially important with Kuzco and Peter Pan to introduce two new things, the evasion and the binding. I think it'd be especially important to continue to make characters with these traits, obviously not like back-to-back or anything, but with other attributes that maybe complement those traits that they might find out later. But of course, always adding new traits like that is certainly interesting. And also, even if you're not combining traits within a single character, the whole point is to find good characters to complement their traits. So I also understand not wanting to add 30 characters that I bind, because we already have Kuzco. All you have to do is bring in other characters that have complementing moves. And it'll be cool in the future to see which characters get added and what brand new skills will combine with Kuzco's, you know. And you kind of see that sometimes where they suggest characters that are new, that work well with each other. Like Peter Pan and Kuzco are both brand new, but their moves kind of complement each other. It said that Kuzco and him have a good synergy because of his focus thing, you know. So yeah, it's always cool to see. I think I really think they're doing a great job with all their character stuff. Sometimes it feels like in games like Disney Heroes are just adding characters because that's just what they do, and the characters just feel like rehashes of things we've already seen. But not only is every design unique for these characters, but also their moveset. Almost entirely unique every time. It's hard to think of a lot of characters that have very similar movesets. So we're actually a little at a risk here with Hercules, so let's make sure to not lose him. But I think we'll be fine. It looks like he did a pretty good amount of damage to Scrooge. Again, Scrooge is my exact opposite, so it's cool that we got to do that fight as well. I think we're almost at 10. I feel like we should almost just do number 10, right? Yeah, we're at 10, so we might as well just do this and call it a day. But yeah, I'm pretty excited by these new characters. Although, if I'm being completely honest, I'm not that crazy about either of the original characters. Like, I'm not that big of a fan of Kuzco or Peter Pan. And also, I forgot about this, but one of his traits said that he was a shapeshifter, and he does not shapeshift at all. So I get that, like, in the source material he can turn to the llama and everything, but I don't know why they would put that in his traits in this game specifically, because he does not shapeshift. And that was something I was really looking forward to. I thought that might be a cool thing, because we haven't seen that at all. We haven't seen a real, actual shapeshifter where a character can move in between two different forms. We haven't seen that once, and I thought Kuzco would be a cool way to do that. He still has a cool moveset, but I feel like the llama thing would be so cool. It's just a cool thing to have for, like, a fighting game in general. And so far, Disney Sources Arena is the only one that's actually taken advantage of that. We might have to switch to Hercules. Just because, you know, Disney Heroes doesn't even have Kuzco. But, yeah, I don't know. I suppose being different is interesting too, but we still have yet to see a character that really makes use of a shape-shifting ability, so I would love to see that someday. But that's all we're doing with Kuzco. I think my showcases will probably get people pretty excited to try out these characters for themselves, because I feel like they're both really interesting. I know a lot of people love both those characters quite a bit, and I think they did a pretty good job with each of them. That's really all I got to say. Let me know what you think about Kuzco, even Peter Pan if you want. And thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.